Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. This is week 2. For those of you who joined me last week or came back and watched the video later, thank you so much. It makes me really happy that we can all kind of get together, even though it's a little bit different. But thanks for joining me. So last week we focused a lot on our balance, building strength, and it was hard. I don't know how you guys felt. I watched a little bit of the video back. There's only so much of watching yourself that you can handle, but my low back and my hamstrings are tight. And so I thought today what we could do is focus on opening up our back body. So we're gonna focus on incorporating some more postures that stretch and lengthen through our low back, through our glutes and hips, and also through our hamstrings and down all the way into our feet. And so I'm gonna give you guys a moment to get settled. Like I mentioned in the email, it's good to have a blanket or a towel, something that you can sit on during some seated postures or rest your head on when we're laying down. If you have yoga blocks, that's great. If not, you might want to have a chair that has a lower seat or maybe a low sturdy coffee table that you can rest your hands on. Pillows or bolsters are also nice props for you to have. And then also if you want to have a yoga strap or a belt or even just like a hand towel or a thin small towel, that might be nice to have for some of our postures at the end. So let's get started. The first portion can be done seated on the mat, or if you'd like to do it seated in a chair, if that's more comfortable, you can do that too. So I'm going to start seated up on a lift, and that's just going to bring my hips a little higher than my knees and make sitting more comfortable. So to help us get grounded and focused and centered for this practice, we're going to start with a really simple breathing pattern. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be inhaling for 4 breaths, retaining or holding our breath for just a count of 2, and then having a slightly longer exhale. So we're going to be exhaling or releasing our breath for 6 seconds, and then we're going to kind of start that cycle over. So let's find a comfortable seat wherever you're at. Relax through your legs. Maybe bring your hands to your knees or your thighs. Relax through your shoulders. Bring a little bit of integrity or engagement in your core. You can begin to reach your crown up towards the sky. It's always good to start finding some length in your spine early. If you'd like, you can lower your gaze to the floor or maybe close it down completely. And we're going to begin our inhale right here. So let's inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, and exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to take 2 more rounds. So inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, and exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, and exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to just your normal breathing pattern. You can keep your eyes closed or your gaze low, or you can lift it once more. And we're going to begin to start to warm up our neck, our shoulders, our spine, our low back. So the first thing we're going to do is inhale, find that long spine again. And then exhale, draw your chin down towards your chest. On an inhale, see if you can lift your sternum up towards your chin. And exhale, really draw your shoulders down away from your ears. From here, on an inhale, begin to slide your chin up along your chest until it's looking past your left shoulder, your gaze. Exhale, slide back down, chin to chest. Inhale, let's slide on up to the right. And exhale, chin to chest. take a few rounds at the pace of your breath. So your inhales are bringing you up and over, and exhales bringing your chin back down. Be mindful of your shoulders here. If you feel them creeping up towards your ears, see if you can draw your shoulder blades down on your back body. We're going to take one more breath on each side. So one more inhale to the left. One more inhale to the right. Exhale, chin to chest. And then on an inhale, you can lift your gaze. Nice. So from here, we're going to move into some seated cat-cows. And so on your next inhale, let's begin to pull through our hands just slightly. Draw your shoulders back, open up through your chest, lift your gaze to seated cow pose. And on an exhale, begin to round through your spine. Gaze drops, and you can use your hands to lengthen through your arms and find a little bit more rounding in your spine. So again, move at your breath pace. So inhales are going to bring you opening up into cow pose. And exhales are going to round through your spine and bring you into cat pose. Take a few more cows, a few more cats. On your cows, really feel your shoulder blades, not your shoulder blades, your collarbone widening up front. And then in cat pose, see if you can feel that widening in between your shoulder blades. Very nice. And let's take one more cow, one more cat, wherever you're at. And then we'll return to our neutral spine. And from here, we're going to start involving our arms. So on an inhale, we're going to extend our arms up overhead, gaze lifts up past your fingertips. Exhale, arms fall, chin to chest. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fall. And on that fall, really draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Let's take 3 more. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fall. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fall. And last one, inhale to rise, gaze lifts, and exhale, fall, chin to chest. Nice. Okay, so if you're seated on a chair, we're going to make our way down to the mat. If you're sitting on a lift, we're going to shift it off to the side for now. And we're going to come into hands and knees. And so if we're ever in hands and knees and your knees become uncomfortable, you can always go back to your towel or your blanket and use it to pad your knees. So that's an option if it feels good to you. Otherwise, we're going to find hands and knees. We're going to tuck our toes, and we're going to begin to reach back and make sure that all of these toes tuck under, because sometimes those pinky toes just don't tuck on their own. So our knees are touching, and as you're ready, we're going to begin to walk your hands back, up your thighs, and we're going to come into a toe stretch. So we're going to be here for several breaths, and so if it ever becomes too intense or too much, you're more than welcome to shift your hands forward, maybe even bring them on the mat, and pull a little bit of your weight out of your heels. But otherwise, we're going to hang out here for a few moments. If it feels good, you can take this opportunity to do a few maybe shoulder rolls, stretch out your wrists, whatever feels good for you. In yoga, we do a lot of stretching through our muscles and strengthening through our muscles, aligning our joints and our bones. We also have connective tissue that runs through our body that holds us all together, and it runs from the bottom of our feet all the way up our body. And so sometimes it's nice if we're thinking about opening our back body to remember our feet. So let's take 2 more breaths, 1 more inhale, 1 more exhale. I lied, 1 more inhale. And on our last exhale, we'll begin to walk our hands down our thighs. Keep your toes tucked all the way to hands and knees. And once you get to hands and knees, you can roll up under the very tips of your toes, pause for a moment, and then you can release the tops of your feet to the mat. And so if this feels good, you can stay right here. If your body feels like it needs some type of counter stretch, you can also begin to walk your hands back. And we can stretch through the front of our ankles. So you could stop here, maybe bring your hands behind you, and maybe even lift your knees off of the mat if it feels good, to get a little bit more of an intense stretch. We'll just hang out here for another breath. And let's begin to make our way out of it. So let's walk our hands down our thighs, come back to hands and knees. We're going to tuck our toes this time and find our strong tabletop position. So let's see that our wrists are under our elbows are under our shoulders, and our knees are under our hips. So instead of letting our belly fall, we're going to engage through our core, press away from the mat. And as you're ready, we're going to send our weight back, and this time up into our first down dog. So take your time here, pedal out your feet. So bend into one knee and lift that heel, and then switch to the other side. Let your neck stay relaxed and long. Remember, for our down dogs, we're trying to create this long spine. So don't worry so much about if there's a bend in your knee or if your heels are lifted right now. See if you can find some engagement in your core to send your hips up and back. Draw your crown away from your shoulders towards the mat. We'll be here for one more inhale, one more exhale. And on an inhale, begin to walk your hands back this time towards your feet. And exhale into a forward fold. So generous knee bend here. You can bring your chest to rest on your thighs if that feels nice. Relax through the back of your neck. Let the crown of your head drop. From here, we're going to press our thighs back, rise up into half lift so your hands might come to your shins. And let's grab our blanket or our folded towel, and we're going to bring it underneath our toes. So I'm going to have my toe mounds up on our blanket and my heels down on the mat. And from here, we're going to find that fold again. So you might feel the sensation in a similar place, but more intensely. Or maybe you feel it lower in your legs or higher in your hips. From here, if it feels good, you can walk your hands out into a short down dog. And it might be a good spot, if you have bricks, to give your arms a little bit of length. So if you want to try it and bring your bricks, that's going to make your arms a little bit longer. So it'll be easier to kind of send your hips up a little bit higher, use your core. Or you're more than welcome to stay in this forward fold. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. After your second exhale, let's release our blanket. Return to our fold one more time. And then inhale 1 vertebra at a time, slowly rise up to standing. We're going to have the crown of our head be the last thing to lift up. Very nice. Or find a mountain pose here at the back of our mat. So ground down through both feet. Engage through your thighs, your belly. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Lift your crown. Inhale, extend arms overhead. Gaze can lift. And exhale, we're going to fold. Inhale, rise to half lift. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to cross our left foot behind our right and bring our pinky edges to touch. And on an exhale, we're going to fold. So you will most likely feel this sensation a little bit more intensely through your left leg and low back. This might also be a nice spot to have bricks or to have your coffee table or a low chair if that feels nice to have a little bit of a lift. We'll be here. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, let's unwind and rise back up to half lift. And exhale, we're going to take it to the other side. So let's tuck our right foot behind our left. Pinky edges to touch. And exhale, let's fold. Again, hands can come to bricks or another stable surface. So inhale, see if you can find length in your spine. And exhale, fold at your hips. And take 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, unwind and lift up to half lift. Exhale, let's fold one last time in this warm up. And then on your next inhale, slowly rise, one vertebra at a time, to standing. Nice. So you can either stay in the back of the mat for this one, or if you'd like, you can make your way to the front. And we're going to do a few standing cat-cows and side stretches to warm up our spine in standing. So on an inhale, we're going to extend our arms overhead. And exhale, ground down through all 4 corners of the feet. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, begin to tilt your tailbone out. Draw your shoulders and elbows down. Open up through your chest, gaze lifts. Standing cow pose. Exhale, begin to tuck your tailbone round through your spine. Arms can come up and over. Gaze drops, and elbows can come in front. Maybe they even come to touch in the middle. So inhale leads you to open up into standing cow pose. And exhale, we're rounding down into cat pose. So take a few at the pace of your breath. In cow, feel that widening through your front body and your collarbone. And in cat pose, feel that widening through your shoulder blades on your back body. I'm going to take one more cow, one more cat. And then when you're done, inhale to send your hands up high. And exhale, release into mountain pose. So pause here for a moment. Notice the sensation that you might be feeling through your arms. And on our next inhale, we're going to extend our arms overhead. Right hand's going to clasp at left wrist. And we're going to begin to bend on an exhale towards the right wall. So inhale, feel your left rib cage expand with your breath. Feel that stretch in your left side body. On your exhales, keep grounding down through both feet. So keep your weight balanced. Inhale, reach through your left fingertips. Exhale, maybe slide your shoulders down away from your ears. One more inhale. One more exhale. And inhale, we'll rise to center. We're going to switch. So left hand grasps right wrist. And exhale, begin to fold to the left. So inhale, this time our right rib cage is expanding so we can feel that sensation in our right side body. Exhale, keep that grounding and balance, stability through both feet. Inhale, reach through your right fingertips. Exhale, maybe draw your shoulders away from your ears if they've been creeping up. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, rise. And exhale, release to mountain. Pause here one more time. Before we get started in our first real sequence to get our body warmed up and moving. So from here, what we're going to do is find our strong mountain pose. So ground down through all four corners of both feet. Engage through your thighs, through your belly. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. See if you can draw your shoulder blades down and in on your back body. Crown's lifting, our palms are shining forwards. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And on an inhale, we're going to begin to sweep our arms up and overhead and send our hips down and find ourselves in chair pose. So in chair pose, we want to keep the weight back towards our heels to keep our knees safe, but see if you can stay grounded through all four corners of your feet. Sometimes there's a tendency to really sway through your low back. So see if you can tuck your tailbone to keep your spine long. If your shoulders are crouching down, see if you can open up through your chest. Hug your thighs towards the midline. Maybe sink a smidge lower. We're going to be here for one more breath in. And exhale with your knees bent. We're going to fold. Inhale, rise to half lift. And exhale, we're going to fold, plant our hands, and take your time. We're going to step back to plank or plank on the knees. So we could come up to this lifted version, or if it feels good, you can drop your knees and still have that long straight line from your shoulders down to your knees. Wherever you are, let's see if we can keep our shoulders behind our wrists. Instead of using our shoulders and putting a lot of weight into it, see if you can use your belly and your core muscles to hold your body up. We can lift our heels over toe mounds, send energy back through the soles of our feet. One more inhale. And exhale, we're going to slowly lower down all the way to the mat. Nice. You can release your forehead for a second. Untuck your toes, maybe bring the tops of your feet to the mat. Inhale, pull your shoulders back, lifting your chest, baby cobra. Pause here for just another breath or two. If you're feeling any sensation in your low back, see if you can reach your sternum forwards to lengthen your spine. Elbows are down. One more inhale. Exhale, release your shoulder to the mat, or your forehead to the mat. Inhale, we're going to tuck our toes, engage through our core, float back up to plank or plank on our knees. And exhale, send your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. Inhale, see if you can send your hips up and back using your core strength. Exhale, draw the crown of your head down away from your shoulders. Maybe we're still pedaling on our feet, or maybe we're trying to press our heels a little bit closer to the mat. Let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. And inhale, slowly begin to walk your feet up towards your hands. And exhale into forward fold. Inhale, rise to half lift. Exhale, fold one last time. And inhale, our arms are going to sweep up. Keep your hips low. We're going to find ourselves back in chair. So keep those thighs hugged to the midline. Tuck your tailbone. Keep that spine long. Open up through your chest. Keep the weight back in your heels, but your feet grounded. Maybe sink a little bit lower. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. In, out, in, and out. Rise up to mountain. Extend your hands down. Awesome work. So take a moment here, come back to your breath if you feel like you lost it a little bit in that last chair posture. Totally understandable. And we're going to go through that sequence 2 more times, and we're going to move at the pace of our own breath. And so since everybody's breath is going to move at a different pace, we're going to take some time in downward facing dog and then also back in mountain pose. So take your time. Move at a pace that feels comfortable for you and for your body. Let's take another inhale here. Lift your crown up towards the sky. Exhale, ground down through your feet. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Palms shine forwards. And on our inhale, arms are going to sweep up, hips go down, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back, retain your breath as from plank or plank on the knees. We lower all the way down or to chaturanga. Inhale through baby cobra or up dog. And exhale, we're all going to slowly make our way to downward facing dog. So that's going to look different for everybody. And so we'll take a moment here and let's take a few nice grounding breaths. So inhale, audible exhale, inhale, audible exhale, inhale, audible exhale, and inhale, step, walk, or float your feet to the top of the mat and rise to half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we're going to sweep our arms up overhead. Keep your hips low in the chair pose. And exhale, rise to Tadasana. Release your arms by your side. Take a moment to find your breath. Maybe let your gaze lower, close down. See if you can notice any heat building in your body or any energy moving through your arms, through your core, through your legs. Let's take one more inhale, crown lifts. One more exhale, draw your shoulders down away from your ears. And let's go into our last round. So inhale, arms sweep overhead, hips sit low, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to plank or plank on your knees. And again, from here, you can lower all the way to your belly or stop in chaturanga. Inhale into baby cobra or up dog. And exhale, slowly make your way, however feels right in your body, to get back to downward facing dog. And again, let's take a few breaths together. So inhale, audible exhale. Inhale, lift those hips up high. Audible exhale, send that crown down from your shoulders. Inhale, keep thinking long spine. And exhale, maybe we press our heels a little closer to the mat. Inhale, step, walk, or float your feet up and rise to half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. One last time, the chair pose. You guys got this. And exhale, rise to mountain. Drop your arms down by your sides. And find that breath again if you've lost it. Okay. Awesome work, guys. Chair is a hard pose. So from here, we're going to come to face the long edge of our mat. And so we're going to start with our feet under our hips. Just find a little stability and tension here. And then as you're settled in and ready, we can toe heel our feet into our wide stance. Like we mentioned last week, this wide stance is going to look different for everybody. What I would say is extend your arms out to your side. And we want to make sure that our feet aren't going like way past our wrists. Another big key is you want to make sure that you can ground down, or what I mean by that, you're pressing down through this outside edge or the pinky edge of both of your feet. So that's where you're taking a lot of strength from in both of your legs. So make sure that you feel solid there. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring our hands behind our back, interlock our fingers, and on an inhale, begin to draw our knuckles down towards the earth. Open up through your chest. Gaze can lift somewhat. And on an exhale, let's begin to fold at our hips. So arms can stay interlocked and come to a place where they feel comfortable. Maybe that's reaching for the back wall. Maybe that's reaching overhead in the direction of where our head's going. Wherever it is, on an inhale, see if you can find length through your spine. So reach your crown away from your sitting bones. Create space, and then exhale, fold at your hips. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find length. Relax through the back of your neck. Exhale, fold. Let's release our arms. And once your palms are on the mat, on an inhale, we can rise up to this like half lift spine. And from here, let's begin to walk our hands towards our right foot. I'm going to move this so you can see me better. Once my right hand's in front of my right foot, I'm going to turn my right foot 90 degrees so that my toes are pointed up to the front of the mat. And from here, I might turn my back toes in slightly too. We're going to come up to warrior two, and that's a lot of external rotation in your hips. And so by bringing this back foot in slightly, it's going to help us out. So let's press into our palms, ascend our hips back, and then on an inhale, we're going to rise up to warrior two. You can extend your arms right away if you're ready. Otherwise, you can bring them down. We're going to start with our legs. See that our right knee is stacked over our right ankle, so make sure you can still see your big toe. Our back leg is strong and straight. We're grounding down through our right toe mound and that pinky edge of our left foot. And from here, on an inhale, see if you can guide your hip points to facing the long edge of the mat. And then on an exhale, press the outside line of your right thigh towards that back wall. Inhale again. See if you can find your weight balanced or centered so we're not leaning too far one way or the other. Find some lightness through your low ribs. And we can extend our arms out to the side, maybe reach our fingertips away from each other. Exhale, press down towards the ground. Create this kind of internal resistance in your body. One more inhale here. One more exhale. We're going to make our way to reverse warrior. So keep these strong legs. On an inhale, flip your right palm. Reach up, fingertips reaching towards the sky. Opposite hand rests on the back of your left leg. Exhale, keep that grounding down through your right toe mound, pinky edge of your left foot. Inhale, maybe your gaze lifts up past your fingertips. Exhale, draw your shoulders away from your head. We're going to stay here for just a couple breaths. As you're in this posture, be mindful of your back body. We're not trying to crunch here, so keep some integrity in your core to keep this lifting sensation. One more inhale. And exhale, let's begin to bend into our right arm. Draw our elbow to our right thigh. And then on an inhale, our left arm's going to extend up and overhead. So we're creating a straight line from our fingertips, through our arm, through our torso, and down through our left leg. Exhale, keep grounding down through both legs. Don't forget about that back leg. And inhale, find that lifting again. So if you feel yourself collapsing into your shoulders, see if you can use your core to find some lift. Inhale, reach through your left fingertips. But exhale, draw your shoulder down away from your ears. Let's find a couple more breaths here. One more inhale. One more exhale. You guys got this. Inhale, we're going to rise back up to warrior two just for a moment. Exhale here. One more inhale. And exhale, let's cartwheel our hands down, pivot on the back foot. And if you'd like, you can take a vinyasa to down dog. Or if you're just like, that doesn't sound good at all, let's drop our back knee. We can step our right foot back, and we're coming to child's pose. So you can bring your toe mounds to touch, knees to the long edge of your mat, and then send your hips back. You can let your forehead rest on the mat. If it's hard to bring your forehead down, this might be a great time to have a block or your blanket or a bolster so you can rest your forehead and close this posture. If you're in this child's pose and it just doesn't feel good in your hips, you're always welcome to bring your hips together and bring your arms back and come into a different variation of child's pose. So wherever you are, let's stay here for 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. 1 more exhale. Inhale, let's rise back up to tabletop. Find your good tabletop posture. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, tuck our toes. And we're going to send our weight up and back and meet those brave few that decided to take a vinyasa to down dog. From here on an inhale, let's walk our hands back to our feet again. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to half lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, 1 vertebra at a time. We're going to rise all the way up to standing or mountain pose. So let's take just a couple breaths here. Find your breath. And then as you're ready, we're going to make our way back to the long edge of our mat. So again, find that stability. Get your body ready for the second side of the sequence. Palms shine forwards, crown lifts up towards the sky. Let's get our shoulders to stay down away from our ears if we can. And then as we're ready, toe heel your feet back into that wide stance that's comfortable for you. Reach your arms back, interlock your fingers, knuckles are pointed down towards the earth. And on your next inhale, draw your knuckles down towards the ground, open up through your chest, your collarbone. Maybe your gaze lifts slightly. And on an exhale, you're going to fold at your hips. Arms come wherever they're comfortable. And if they don't feel comfortable in any position behind your back, then just let them go. You can release them to the mat. Wherever we are, inhale, find that long spine. So reach your crown away from your sitting bones. And exhale, fold. As you take a couple more breaths here, see if you can notice where your weight is. So when we're in this forward fold, we want our weight to be centered over the arches of our feet. So we're not leaning back, we're not shifting forwards too much. 1 more inhale. And exhale, let's release our hands to the mat. Inhale, rise to a half lift. You're going to walk your hands over to your left foot. When your left hand gets in front of your left foot, let's turn our left toes 90 degrees to face the back edge of the mat this time. And again, if it feels good, you can turn your right toes in slightly as well. So from here, let's press into the earth to send our hips back slightly so that on our next inhale, we can rise up to warrior 2. And again, arms can be up or they can stay down as we work from the bottom up. So make sure you can see your big toe, left knee stacked over left ankle, but isn't going past. Our back leg is strong and straight. We're not bending too much into our knee. From here on an inhale, see if you can turn those hip points to face the long edge of the room, long edge of your mat. Then on an exhale, press through the outside lining of your left thigh and get that external rotation through your hips. Inhale, shift your weight. So if you feel like you're sliding forward too much or leaning back too much, shift your weight so that it's centered. Lift up off your low ribs, extend your arms out to the side, reach through your fingertips. Then maybe on an exhale, you find that energetic pressing down towards the earth. Gaze can be looking past your left fingertips if that feels comfortable for your neck. Only going to be here for another breath or 2. On your next inhale, flip through your left palm this time. Reach your left fingertips up towards the sky, and you can rest your right hand on your right leg. So from here, inhale, maybe your gaze lifts up past your fingertips. Exhale, make sure your shoulders drawn down away from your ears. Inhale, be mindful. If you feel your body collapsing, find a little bit of integrity to keep you lifted. Exhale, stay grounded strongly through both of your legs. 1 more inhale. 1 more exhale. And last inhale here. Exhale, begin to bend into your left arm and bring your left elbow to the top of your left thigh. On an inhale, our right arm's going to extend up and overhead. We're creating this straight line of energy from our fingertips through our arm, down through our, what is this? Our belly, our torso, and then all the way down through our right leg. Be mindful of this grounding. I'm still grounding strongly down into my back leg. I'm lifting so that my arm's not holding my whole weight. It's my core muscles that are doing the work here, and my legs. Let's take one more inhale, one more exhale, and inhale, rise up to warrior two for just a breath. Exhale here, one more inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, pivot on your back foot, and again, take that vinyasa or drop your back knee, step it back, and take it to child's pose of your choice. So feet, knees rather, can be together with arms behind, or knees can come to the long edge of your mat with toe mounds to touch. And you can press into your palms to send your hips back. Wherever you are, see if you can close this posture by bringing your forehead to the mat or to a block, or maybe even to a low table or chair if that feels good. Let's take one more breath in, one more breath out. And on our next inhale, we're going to rise back up to hands and knees. Can't leave those in down dog hanging there for too long. Tuck our back toes. Inhale, find some integrity here. Really ground down through your palms. And then on an exhale, send your hips up and back. Let's take a couple breaths here. One good inhale. Send your hips up and back. Exhale, draw your crown down away from your ears. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, see if you can press those heels maybe just a little bit closer to the mat. Inhale, begin to walk your hands back towards your feet. And exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's rise one vertebra at a time. Back up to mountain pose. Take a couple breaths here. Okay. Awesome, guys. So we're going to do one more posture before we come down to the mat, and it's a balancing posture, and it's going to be Rakshasana or tree pose. And so for this, if balance is something you're working on, maybe find a place next to a wall that you could hold on to, or next to the top of a chair that you feel is sturdy for you to press down through. And so let's get situated. I'm going to give you a second to move your mat if you need to move your mat, and find the spot that's most comfortable for you. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring our feet kind of centered under our hips. So instead of like the wide part of our hips, we're going to come to the narrow part of our hips. So in order to do a balanced posture, we want to make sure that we're stable first. So let's find a really strong mountain pose. So ground down through all four corners of the feet. So these two corners up front, two corners in the back. Find your weight balanced over your arches. Really start engaging through your thighs, engage through your core, maybe tuck your tailbone slightly, draw your shoulders down and back, palms shine forwards. We're reaching our crown up, and we're creating this long spine and this opposition between grounding through our feet and lifting through the top of our head, which is going to help keep our balance. From here, when you're ready, on an inhale, let's begin to shift our weight into our right foot. Exhale, keep that grounding down, that engagement through your thigh. And inhale, we're going to pick up our left ankle. We're going to kind of kickstand it in against the bottom of our right leg. And so the key to tree pose is finding a position for your leg where you can keep pressing out and finding this external rotation in your hip. So maybe this is where we're at, and if we're working on our balance, this might feel the most stable for us. So you're welcome to stay here. Otherwise, you can play with bringing the sole of your foot up to the inside lining of your shin, or maybe even up to the inside lining. I'm going to find a wall. Maybe to the inside lining of your thigh. The only thing we want to make sure that we're not doing is pressing into a joint. So we don't want to put any part of our foot against this inside portion of the knee. So whether you're on your shin or up on your thigh, we're going to press our hip out, keep grounding down through all four corners of our right foot. And from here, now that our legs feel strong and stable, we're going to find some lightness in our upper body. So lift off your low ribs, extend through your side body, and maybe bring your hands up to heart center. Maybe extend them up overhead. Wherever you are, see if you can find a gazing point that you can look at. And mine's going to be something other than the camera. So find a gazing point, something that's stable or not moving, and focus on that. On your inhales, keep finding length through your side bodies. Exhales, keep grounding down and finding that strength through your legs. If you fall out of this posture or lose your balance, I invite you to come back in. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. One more inhale. Woo. And exhale, release. Let's release back to our mountain pose. I like balancing postures because not only do they give you an opportunity to work your body in a different way, I think they give you a nice opportunity to really tune into your body. It's almost like doing a mini body scan. You have to think about all the different parts and make sure they're all working and they're all balanced. I like the mindfulness component that you can focus on your concentration. And so take this opportunity to enjoy it, have fun. If you fall, that's okay. I almost did too, and I might on the next one. So let's find our strong mountain pose. Ground down through all four corners of both feet. Find that engagement in your thighs, in your core. Draw your shoulders down. Maybe even give yourself a nice shoulder roll back to cue yourself to draw your shoulders down and in. Lift your crown. And on an inhale, let's begin to shift our weight into our left foot. Exhale, ground down through all four corners. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, let's lift our right heel and then kickstand it. And take your time here. So you know where we're going. If this feels good, stay right here. Otherwise, you can play with lifting your foot up to the inside lining of your shin, or maybe to the inside lining of your thigh. But wherever you are, make sure that you can press out and have this external rotation. So my knee is pointed towards, right now, the front of the room or the front of the mat. And so make sure that you're not kind of closing that door or that hinge of your hip too much. So wherever you are, let me join you guys. Begin to feel some lightness in your upper body. So we've worked hard. We've found the stability down in our low body. Lift up off your low ribs. Begin to extend through your side body and bring your hands to heart center. Maybe you can keep them down by your side if that feels good. Or if it feels nice, extend your arms up and overhead. Wherever you are, inhale, reach up through your fingertips if they're overhead. Exhale, ground down, draw your shoulder blades down away from your ears. Try to avoid that gripping in your toes and really just ground down through all four corners. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Find your gazing point. See if it helps to keep your balance. One more inhale. And exhale, let's release your leg, release your arms. Awesome, guys. So that was our last standing posture. So we're gonna make our way down onto the mat. And so I'm gonna grab one of my blankets and come up to a lift. You can choose if that feels good to you or not. We're gonna do a wide-legged seated forward fold. So what I like to do, just to make a little bit more room for my legs and my hamstrings, is I like to turn my blanket so that the corner is pointed to the long edge. And then when you sit, you have a little bit more space here for your legs. So once you're in seated, we're gonna extend our legs out to about 90 degrees. There's no need to go past that. We want to make sure that we can stay engaged through this posture. So keep engaging through your thighs, press down and ground down into the mat below. You can bring your hands behind you to help you sit upright if that feels good. Flex into your ankle so that your toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. And there's this 90-degree angle or bend between the top of your foot and your shin. And from here, maybe this is enough sensation for you and you're welcome to hang out here. If you'd like to try a fold, on an inhale, let's create some space in our spine. So let's reach our crown up towards the sky, ground down through our sitting bones. And exhale, you can begin to fold forward at your hips, maybe bringing your hands in front of you. So inhale, find length. Exhale, maybe we fold a little bit deeper. And on our folds, I want you to think about, instead of drawing your forehead down towards the ground or your nose towards the ground, think about reaching your chest towards the ground. So we're keeping this long spine. So inhale, find that long spine. And exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Take a couple more breaths here. As you follow your own breath pattern, check back in with your legs. See that they're still grounding down into the mat. We're still flexing through your ankles. If your toes, like mine, are starting to turn forwards, see if you can energetically pull them back up. So you're going to feel that in the outside linings of your legs, your hips. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And inhale, if you folded, begin to press your hands up. And you can send them behind you. So from here, we're going to come into a side stretch that really gets into our lower back. And so if this is a comfortable seated posture, you can stay here with both legs extended as we take it to both sides. If it does not feel comfortable, you can tuck in. To start, we're going to tuck our left leg. So you can bend through your left knee, maybe bring the sole of your left foot to the inside lining of your right thigh. So wherever you are, let's get comfy. Engage through both legs or engage just through that right leg if you've taken that second variation. And on an inhale, we're going to extend our left arm overhead. And exhale, let's slide our right hand down our leg and reach our left fingertips over and past our left toes. And so our hand, maybe it comes to our foot, maybe it comes to our shin, maybe it's up here on our thigh, and that is just fine. Wherever you are, let's take some deep breaths. You might feel this in your lower back body. And if you feel it pretty intensely, see if you can send your inhales or your breath to your lower belly. Exhale, see if you can keep that grounding through both sitting bones. Take a couple more breaths here. Inhale, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, keep your shoulder away from your ears if you can. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, rise. And exhale, release your hands behind you. So now if you've taken this, this folded variation, what I'm going to have you do is switch. So extend your left leg long and take this opportunity to bend into your right knee if that's what feels good for you. So take a moment to get situated. Let's ground back down through either just our left leg or both of our legs. Find that flexion again through your ankle so our toes are pointed up. On an inhale, our right arm extends overhead. And on an exhale, our left arm slides down our left leg and our right arm reaches past our toes, or that's the kitty. Hi, Rooster. So again, our left arm might reach our foot. Maybe it reaches our shin, maybe it reaches our thigh. Wherever you feel the sensation is a good spot for you. So inhale, send your breath to your lower belly. Exhale, keep grounding down through both sitting bones. Inhale, reach energetically through your right fingertips. On an exhale, see if you can draw your shoulder away from your ears. One more inhale here. One more exhale. Inhale, let's rise up. And exhale, let's release. So we're going to give our spine a minute to kind of neutralize and get settled. But if it feels good, you can bring your legs in front, ground down to the soles of your feet, and maybe even invite like a gentle sway to your knees from side to side. But we want to keep our spine long, our spine straight. And in a minute, we're going to take it down onto our back body. Okay. When you're ready, let's remove our lift. Set it off to the side. We're going to turn our body so that our body can feel the long edge of our mat. And slowly roll down. If it feels good, you can hold on to your thighs to help support your spine as you roll down. And from here, we're going to come into a supine or laying down figure 4. So begin to walk your heels back towards your heels back towards your sitting bones. Shoulder blades ground down into the mat. You might want to tuck your tailbone slightly to feel your sacrum also grounding down into the mat. And then from here, we're going to cross our right ankle over our left thigh. So to keep our knee protected when we're in this posture, I want to make sure you bring that same flexion into your right ankle that we did in that last posture. So flex into that ankle. We have that 90 degrees between the top of our foot and our shin. And begin to press your right knee away from your body. And you're going to feel a little bit of sensation in the outside of your hip. So this might feel good, and you're welcome to stay here, or maybe you play with bringing your heel a little bit closer, pressing your knee a little bit farther out. If you do want more sensation, you can reach around and grab the back of your thigh and pull it up. Pull your thigh towards your chest, and you might feel more sensation in this outer hip. If you want to try this, but it's just hard to reach around your leg, this is a great time to use your strap or your hand towel or belt, and you can kind of reach it around. I can show you. Reach it around your thigh and use that to help pull your thigh up. So you can always take that option as well. Wherever you are, let's hang out here for a few breaths. The work that we did today really kind of lit up our hip extensors or external rotators a little bit. So let's make sure that we give them a little love, stretch them out. Take a couple nice calming breaths. Maybe roll through your left ankle if it's lifted and it feels good. One more inhale. Exhale, wherever you are, let's release, uncross our legs, and pause here for a moment. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to take it to the other side. So we're going to cross our left ankle over our right thigh. And again, before we do anything, find that flexion in your left ankle. I want you guys to keep your left knees safe and protected during this stretch. So get that 90-degree angle. And then you can start playing around with pressing your knee away from your chest, maybe walking your right heel up towards your sitting bones. And then if you want even more sensation, using your strap or using your hands to reach behind your thigh and pull the top of your thigh towards your chest. See if you can keep your sacrum flush on the mat, your shoulder blades down on the mat. Again, if it feels good to give a couple ankle rolls, you can take that. Pause here for a few more breaths. If you found that you were in a position where you had sensation and it's gone, you can always readjust. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale, let's release everything back down to the mat. And let's keep the soles of our feet grounded here. And so if your feet are really close to your sitting bones, walk them out to a comfortable distance. We're going to come into a reclined or supine spinal twist. And so we don't need our knees to be super close to our chest. I'm going to create a little space for me out to the sides. And the first thing I want us to do is we want to get our shoulders grounded. So let's bring our arms out to a T or to cactus or a field goal posts. I watch football sometimes. Okay. And once you're here and your shoulders are grounded, on an inhale, let's press down through the bottoms of our feet, lift our hips just slightly, shift them over a couple inches to the left, and then on an exhale, drop your knees to the right. So as you drop your knees, if you feel your left shoulder lifting, really make an intention to ground it back down. So that might mean that your left or that your knees lift slightly, and that's okay. Maybe it feels good to shift your gaze past your left shoulder, and that might help keep your shoulder down. If you want to grab a bolster or a pillow, you can place that under your bottom knee or maybe in between your right and left knees. Take a couple more breaths here. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, let's rise back up. Exhale, shift your hips back in line. And from here, we're going to take it to the other side. So on an inhale, let's press into the soles of our feet. Lift our hips just slightly over a couple inches to the right. And exhale, drop your legs to the left. Again, our shoulders being grounded is what we want to focus on. So maybe turn your gaze past your right shoulder. Maybe find a prop to support under your lower leg or between your top and bottom leg. And we'll be here for a few more breaths. Rooster is just coming in to make sure that I'm doing all right. Let's take one more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, rise back up to center. Exhale, shift your hips back in line. On an inhale, let's come to a full body stretch. Exhale, maybe if it feels good to you, you can hug your knees to your chest. Stay here for a moment. Again, maybe roll through your ankles. If it feels good, you can always come into a happy baby stretch. So that's where we'd be reaching our hands up through in the middle of our thighs, grabbing the outsides of our feet, and then opening up through our hips and pressing our soles of our feet up against our fingertips. So you can hang out here if you want. You can hang out in knees to chest or in our full body stretch, whatever feels good for you. This is our last posture before we make our way to Shavasana. So if there's something else that you feel like your body's missing, you can take that as well. And when you're ready, we're going to begin to extend our legs long and bring our arms down to our side with our palms shining up towards the ceiling. So our legs for Shavasana, we can widen them a bit if it feels good. Let your toes drop out. So inhale, relax through the inner linings of your legs. Exhale, feel your back body drop and melt into the mat. Inhale, if you haven't done so already, you can let your gaze close down completely. Exhale, relax through the muscles of your face, through your jaw, through your neck. And I'm going to let you lie here in this position of rest for just a few minutes. And then my voice will be there to help guide you out of it. So feel safe here, feel comfortable, and allow your body to rest. Let's begin to bring the awareness back to our breath. Don't feel like you need to change your breath at all. Just notice it. Maybe bring a little bit of movement to your body by wiggling your toes, your fingers. Maybe rolling through your ankles or rocking your head from side to side. And then as you're ready, you can begin to turn onto one side. It could be the left or the right, whichever feels comfortable for you. You can bend into your knees, support your head with your bottom arm extended. Take another breath here. On your next inhale, if you're ready, begin to press up into seated. You can find a comfortable lift if it feels good. Keep your eyes closed down or open them up if you're ready. And then on an inhale, let's extend our arms overhead together. And exhale, bring our hands to chest. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today.